You want to know how it feels to wake up one morning and realize your own home, your sanctuary, the place you built with your hands and your late wife's dreams, might be ripped away because some HOA president decided your bunker wasn't up to code? Yeah, that happened. And the first thing out of Annette Holland's mouth, standing on my porch with her fake smile and her little army behind her, was a threat. This bunker will be demolished in 30 days or we will evict you. She waved a violation notice in my face, calling my storm shelter an unauthorized dwelling, actually laughing as she turned to leave, thinking I was just some old vet with a fancy shed, an easy target. What Annette didn't know, what she couldn't have guessed, is that I didn't just throw this bunker together to stash some canned beans. I built these walls for the U.S. Army, and I sealed more secrets in that concrete than she'd ever seen in her HOA rulebook. The shelter wasn't some backyard project. It was Sarah's idea, my late wife, the one who wanted us to have a safe room after decades of living like nomads, packing up and shipping out every time Uncle Sam called. We poured everything we had, money, sweat, hopes, into this patch of land. The air was always fresh, coffee always hot, pine needles crunching underfoot, and for years the only rules out here were physics and common sense. But peace doesn't last long when power-hungry people get bored. That Tuesday, the sound of tires on gravel snapped me out of my morning. White sedan. Annette, in her trademark practical shoes, flanked by Cheryl Owens, clipboard queen, and Doug Kendrick, HOA's self-appointed security, who looked like he flunked out of police academy, but still wore a polo with security stitched across the chest, just in case you thought he was delivering Amazon packages. I didn't bother with pleasantries. Annette, I said, coffee mug still warm. To what do I owe the pleasure? She gave that smile. Tight, painted, all teeth, no warmth. Routine property check, she said. Cheryl scribbling already, Doug puffing up like he was about to lead a raid. They zeroed in on the camouflaged hatch I'd set into the ground, flush against a pile of granite boulders. From the road, it's just earth and moss. Up close, yeah, you see the steel. And what is that? Annette's voice had this syrupy, fake curiosity. Storm shelter. I told her, steady as ever. Been there since before this HOA existed. Didn't matter. Doug and Cheryl came closer, circling. Structure, you mean? Cheryl corrected, pin dancing. We need to inspect for safety compliance. I sipped my coffee. Nope. Private property. You're not going inside. Annette's face dropped, that smile finally gone. Refusal to comply is a direct violation. Article 7, Section 4, she snapped. I almost laughed. You can issue whatever you want. You're not getting a key. She shoved a violation notice in my face. $500 fine, 15 days to appeal. I didn't take it, just let it fall to the steps. As they left, Doug muttered about getting a warrant. It was never about safety. It was about power. So I filed an appeal, laid out every fact, included my old county permit, even made it polite. I figured they'd push back, maybe drag me through some meetings. I wasn't ready for war. But Annette? She wanted one. 2 weeks later, certified mail. Emergency board meeting. I wasn't invited. Appeal denied. Fine now $1,000 per day. Already over $12,000. The letter threatened a lien and eviction if the bunker wasn't demolished in 30 days. That wasn't enforcement. That was punishment. She wanted to break me. It was around then I saw my neighbor, Mike Reyes, another vet, working his truck. Gave me a weak wave and buried himself in the engine, wouldn't look me in the eye. He was scared, like everyone else. I realized I was on my own. Annette thought she could bully anyone, but she'd picked the wrong guy. Less than a week after the eviction notice, I got a letter from Kendrick Compliance and Security, Doug's 2-bit company, demanding a full inspection. Next day, black SUV shows up, Doug dressed up in his little tactical vest, clipboard out, trying to look important. I met him 10 feet from the porch, arms crossed. Morning, Doug. He didn't waste time. Mandatory inspection, official order of access. I just shook my head. This is an HOA property. You're not official. Now you can leave, or we'll discuss trespassing with the sheriff. He started to puff up, then saw something in my eyes and shrunk. Bullies don't like resistance. He left, but the next day, I got a $1,500 fine for a missed inspection. I knew I needed help. Found a local attorney, Davies, quiet, sharp, the kind who's seen every HOA trick in the book. He said, They're overreaching. They can't retroactively apply these bylaws to you, but they'll bleed you dry with court costs. He was right. This was a siege, and I was outnumbered. That night, I walked my cabin, touching the walls Sarah and I built, her photo on the mantle, her smile shining back. I couldn't sell, no matter how much my daughter Amy tried to talk sense into me. This was our home. But I remembered an old sergeant major's advice. When you're cornered, reinforce your corner. So I did. I dug out the blueprints. U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, seals still crisp. My contracts, service records, everything. Called up Mark, an old buddy and contractor. They want to test my structure? Let's test theirs. Mark knew more about concrete than anyone alive. By the next morning, I was in full engineer mode, documenting, photographing, recording every inch of the bunker. Rebar, wall thickness, air filtration, everything. I installed new security cameras, and, you know what, the fines kept piling up, but at this point, they felt like monopoly money. I was fighting back. Mike finally came over, saw me dragging equipment. He offered to help. He's a master electrician. We spent hours tracing wires, checking circuits. He came up, dusty and grinning. This place is cleaner than most hospitals, Jack. It's bomb-proof. He notarized a statement for me, professional endorsement in hand. Meanwhile, rumors flew, Cheryl telling neighbors I was a doomsday nut, Doug whispering about explosives. They even stuck illegal warning signs on my lawn, big, red, screaming, unsafe structure. I calmly collected them for evidence. That's when I changed the game. Set up a live stream tour of the bunker. Just showed people the facts, talked engineering, safety, no mention of the HOA or a net. The video took off, veterans groups, prepper forums. Suddenly thousands of people knew the truth. Mark showed up a week later, ran a full structural analysis. His official report, Civil Defense Class 1, military grade. I recorded a new video, calmly burned Annette's violation notice on camera, and sent it to every board member. Let's see how they like those optics. Next, I mailed the board copies of my deed and a zoning map from 2008, highlighting an old county law, a civil defense overlay, exempting my bunker from HOA rules. Annette's response? Accuse me of fraud. Cheryl, meanwhile, was losing her nerve. The board pivoted, now claiming my bunker was a public safety hazard, trying to turn neighbors against me. I called their bluff, invited the whole community to a public inspection, live-streamed, and everything. Doug tried to make a scene, called out my wiring, tried to cite federal code. I shut him down in front of everyone. Not only did he not know the law, he wasn't even licensed. Video of his meltdown went viral. Annette called a secret emergency meeting to sue me. This time, I went with Mike. When Annette tried to paint me as a danger, I calmly projected evidence. Audio of her trespassing, Doug's fake citations, screenshots of illegal fines. I showed my updated property deed, formally recertified as civil defense, legally out of HOA jurisdiction. Neighbors erupted, called a vote of no confidence, and booted the whole board. Annette, stunned, stormed out. Cheryl handed over the records, shell-shocked. But Annette wasn't done. She went to the media, called me a terrorist, spun wild tales for anyone who'd listen. That's when Cheryl blew the whistle. Turns out Annette was trying to forge complaints against me, even faked a letter with Sarah's name. That was her final mistake. Cheryl handed over every email. Annette got cited for trespassing and forgery. The HOA's insurance company settled my claim, $38,000, all fake fines and legal costs repaid. Doug vanished, and the interim board rewrote the bylaws, adding real checks on power and a focus on transparency. Neighbors started coming by, bringing pies, coffee, stories. The walls of silence Annette built crumbled. The new board brought common sense back, even kept Cheryl as secretary, now actually working for the community. I started live streaming workshops, helping other vets and homeowners fight their own HOA battles, teaching how to build safe shelters by the book. Amy's family started visiting more. My grandson Leo loved the bunker, didn't care about any of the drama, just thought Grandpa's secret fort was the coolest thing ever. I hung a small plaque inside the hatch. For Sarah, always ready. That's what she wanted, a fortress. And that's what it became, not just for me, but for the whole community. Standing on that hill, sun dipping behind the lake, I realized they'd tried to erase a piece of my life. My home, my memories, my wife's dreams. But in the end, stubbornness, the truth, and a little bit of old-fashioned grit outlasted every bully. That bunker isn't just a shelter. It's proof that one person can stand up to the mob and win. But I've got to ask, where's the line? When does a community protect itself, and when does it just become another excuse for people like Annette to grab power? I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts below. Was I right to fight, or did I just stir up trouble? Who's got the real say in what happens to your home? Let's hear it. Your stories, your justice, your side of the fence.